So, welcome back to my channel. This is Cash from Cloud Soldier. So, what we are going to do in this lab is basically we are doing AZ 900 and we are studying networking. So, what we are going to do, we'll create a virtual machine in a two virtual machines in a vnet. So we get, say we call it VM1 and we call it VM2. So we're creating, say, we call it cache VM01 in vnet. We call vnet, say, cache vnet. So that's the name of the vnet. And second machine, we call it cache VMO2 in the same vnet. And the exercise we'll do, we need to make sure these two machines they can talk to each other. So what we'll do, so both machines will be Linux. So we will log on to cache VMO1 and cache VMO2 via SSH because they are Linux machine. As you know, SH port is number 22. So what we'll do, so after we log on to this machine, we do a command called curl http and the IP address of the machine of cache VMO2. So this will give us a connectivity. So by default, any resources in same VNet, they can communicate with each other. So what we'll do, so we can do that also, we will install on this machine Nginx, and so to install this machine on this Nginx, we will use as again SSH, and then what we'll do, we uh, try to log on to that, or sorry, we copy the URL of the public IP. We call it pip public IP and see if the URL working. So if we have any difficulty, we'll move to our next topic. Okay, let's install quickly two machines. Yeah, if we go to our refresh this, so this is gone. Let's go to just create a virtual network first. All services. Okay, let me 1 second. So first, let's start a VNet first. Like you always say, go to all services, search for a virtual network. So this is virtual network. Click virtual network, create virtual network, and we create a new resource group and we call it say we say app grp, and we call the virtual name is cache vnet. That's fine. Click next. Next. As you know that I explained today that this will give us about 65,000 addresses. For this exercise, just leave it like this because this is out of scope at this stage. Review and create. And click create. So that should create very quickly. Okay, so we have got our, oh, my bad. Should be vnet output went. Doesn't matter. Just ignore it. Just pretend this is vnet. So, what next step we do? Duplicate, and we create two virtual machines in the same vnet. Okay, what's that? Okay, if we go to virtual machines and create virtual machine in Azure virtual machine, and we choose the same app grp, call virtual machine cache vm01. We do not need availability zone, and that's fine because we're creating Ubuntu. B1 is fine. Password, we call it Linux user, Linux, Linux XUSER, and password the usual password. Right, and we're gonna be accessing this machine using port 22 disks as it is. Ignore that. It will create a by default this uh, virtual network, but we do not. Yes, so this is the one we created, so it picked up that one automatically. It will also create public IP, and that's all this fine. Management, monitoring, advance, and tags, review and create. We'll come back when this is created. Let's let's create button, and we come back when this is created. Right, okay, so we got this first machine, cache VM1. So the next step is again, so we go to virtual machine again, and we're gonna create a second machine in the same VNet. Right, so we got this machine, so we create another machine in the same resource group in the same VNet. So by default, any resources you create in the same VNet, they should be able to um, communicate with each other. So we call this machine cache VM2, and region south, we don't need availability zone, and same thing again, cache VM2, no, we need a resource group, app grp, and same thing again, password, so we do linux, uxuser, usual password PASSWORD 123, PASSWORD 123. Okay, loud port, that's fine. Uh, Now, see, so we don't need to create a new one, we're using the existing one. and it will give a public IP which is O2. So this is second machine.
Right. So what we have done here
Management,
now, we will be creating
monitoring,
this
monitoring,
Azure.
tags,
Sorry, let me start
tags,
again. So what we'll be doing, we will be
and
creating this Kubernetes service, which is a
create.
cluster, and which
We'll come back
this
when
will,
it
as I
is
told you, that Kubernetes is
created.
an
Yeah.
orchestration tool.
All right.
It
So
manages the
this resource is
container,
also created. So if we
networking,
go to
storage,
our
security,
virtual machines, now you
and
can
it's
see
got like
that
what we do.
we got cache vm one,
As I
cache
explained
vm
before,
2
for the purpose of AZ900
in the
exam,
same resource group. I don't know.
I'm not
Just
going
ignore
into
that while it's in
nitty-gritty of
capital
this
letters.
course. I'm just
And it's
explaining
a
what
Linux
is required
machine.
for the exam,
We got
just
public IP
giving
address,
you of an
two different
overview
IP.
of
So if I
Kubernetes
go
and
to
containers. So what we'll do,
uh,
like I said before,
our
we will create a container with one node,
virtual network,
and
so
we'll
this is the virtual
create two
network we
YAML
created.
files, one for
And
deployment. This will
if I go to
deploy the
settings,
image and create into container
and
of Nginx, which is
so
a
this is the
Linux web
subnet
server,
we
and the
have by
services,
default.
which is
And if
for
we have so you can also see
for to
connected
deploy,
devices
which will
which network
expose
cards are
this
connected to
port
this virtual network. So if I click
into
that,
onto the internet, and you should be able to
yeah,
see
can you
this
see that?
Nginx
Cache
on
VM1, this is our first machine.
this
So this
Kubernetes
virtual
cluster.
network, this
So
virtual
if you
network
go
gave you
to
IP address
all
of zero
services,
04
then look
and this
for
network card, you can see the picture
create
of network card
Kubernetes
10005.
services,
And this is the address space. Remember
click
when we created a
create
virtual network?
Kubernetes
So
cluster,
that will give you 65,536 IP addresses. I just ignore all this for
create
timing.
our new
So we
resource
explain it.
group.
Now what you're gonna do, if I go to our virtual machines, sorry, virtual machines, and
Get our new
go
resource group.
to cache vm1, and so this is the public IP address. This is where you can access from externally, and
Just
this is the
I call it a
internal IP
name.
address that given by the virtual network, the one we created. So I copy this to log on because I am logging from outside externally. So I go to my terminal and just clear that and
Just click
do
next.
SSH
In this agent pool, we will
Linux
define only one node
at,
that we need, and not more than that.
so this is IP is enter.
And
It's asking for a password, PASSWORD
size should be
523.
fine. So just click
Oh, wrong,
next,
I put the wrong one.
update, sorry, next,
P
next.
uh, tell me what mistake. Yeah, unfortunately you cannot speak, but you could have picked up the mistake I'm doing. So SSH Linux user, enter PASS. Hey, we connected now. So now we are on cache 01, as you can see. Let me close that. So we are in cache 01, and you can see, and the IP address is 10004. You can see that 10004, right? So and the IP address of cache VM2 is 10.0.0.5, 10.0.0.5. So what we do now, I just create another tab of this terminal. In Windows, you can open your command prompt. So because I've got a Mac, so that's why. Where is it? Where is it? Edit. Terminal, new tab. Right. So before I copy to that one, so let me see the connectivity so I can connect to that one or not. So there's a command called curl http 10.0.0.5. No, 1 second. I'm putting the wrong command. Right, it's my fault. My bad. So we cannot use the curl command now because the curl command is to get the result from the web server. So first thing we need to do is log on to our second machine and copy that and SSH onto it. SSH linux user at enter, enter. There you go. So now, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna install Nginx on this. So to do this, we go sudo uh, apt update first. So it will update all the binaries. Yeah, shouldn't take long. Yes, nearly done. Yeah, that's done. Now we install the Nginx sudo apt install engine nginx. Right, yes. So basically we install the web server and we should be able to see this web page. But we're not seeing the web. I will show you later, but we need to see because on this they are the same network, same range, same virtual network. So what we'll do now, so if I do command, it should give me a result in a code. Hey, say welcome to Nginx. So it is giving the page because it's a Linux, it's not like graphical user interface. So we have proved that from cache VMware1 we can connect to our cache VMware2 website. Yes, but the thing is that now we will discuss another topic after this. So if I go to, like in past, remember we used to copy that, and if I copy this, what do you think? Will it come or not? Enter. No, it should work. Yeah. The reason is that um, what we think, because we are trying to access this Nginx externally from a public IP address, and we have got no rule. See, the site cannot be reached. So basically, then outbound traffic cannot get into our virtual machine. So we need to create a NSG rule, like an NSG security group. So if we go to our NSG security group and go to networking, network settings, and we can see so create a port rule. So like by default, like I was telling you before, allow vnet inbound any. So if you are in a virtual network, any resource is allowed by default. We also already allowed SSH because we only created the machine. We chose number 22. Deny all inbound. So anything coming inbound is by also by default. If that one is not part of virtual network, just deny that. So we need to create a inbound rule. So anybody coming from outside. So we choose like a tag, service tag that means shows that we are coming through internet. Source port from anybody who's coming from anywhere. Asterisk sign means anyone, any destination. Service customer, we choose HTTP, port 80, and priority, that means it will choose according to the priority numbers, and we can say um, allow inbound traffic. So we created this inbound rule, click add. So it's creating the rule. So so this means, look, this rule is created, allow HTTP inbound from internet. So if you go back to this and refresh it, hopefully it should work. Should work. That's it. See? So we allowed. So now in this lab, what we have done, we have proved that there's a connectivity in the same virtual network, and we can also creating a network security group we were allowed to access externally. I hope this is informative for you guys, and looking forward to see you in the next video. Thank you. Right. So our Kubernetes cluster is created. If we just go to resource and we can see all the properties. It's created in this RG is running location UK South, networking is there, the latest version of Kubernetes is there, all the networking bits and pieces, integration, configuration, node pools. We got only one node pool. This is a node size we have done. So what we'll do, we will like create, excuse me, if I show you something, settings, in settings, or if we go to Kubernetes resources, yes. So you can see these pods are already created, and these are the workloads. Also, these are the pods and services. Services ingress like the traffic coming into this pod and should be able to communicate like we did before. I've already exposed to port 80. So what we'll do, we just go to workload and create a apply YAML file. Remember, we just talked about it. So I've got this YAML file somewhere here. So if I just copy the code and apply, so we can see this is a YAML file format with the two spaces and dictionaries and subproperties. So the container we're downloading is Nginx, as you can say, and this is the image. So we have downloaded this um, from the Docker Hub. So if I add this, right, so this is the one just deployed. While this is happening, I also install the services pod. So create YAML, apply YAML, go back to code, which is this one, copy that and go to right. So what I'll do, I'll also copy this code in the YouTube description and you can copy from there. Only you should do just copy and paste because that code which I will copy will not be in the YAML format. So if you just copy that and paste in ChatGPT and say please create a YAML file for it, it will do it for you. If you click add, right, this is just pending. So if I go back to our workloads, yep, this is created, all fine, green tick. So like I said before, for this exam, Easy 900, we are not going through this course. I'm just giving an overview of Kubernetes services, creating container and managing them. So if I go back to our services ingresses, if I refresh it, yes, it's working. Click OK. So if you remember that we used to install Nginx and then copy the URL before we have to create a virtual machine or web app and install there and all that. So now it's so quick. You see, we have downloaded the image and created a container using a YAML file or Docker file. So in that, so if you just click that, it should give you an Nginx page. Continue because this is not secure. So we only exposed port 80. So click that. Yes, you can see that Nginx is working fine. I hope this is quite informative for you guys. Please practice that. So in this lesson, what we have learned about what is container and what is Kubernetes. In container, we have used Azure Container Instance Service, which can create a container on a fly and test it. And same thing, we used created a cluster for Kubernetes. And the Kubernetes cluster, we created a one node and downloaded a Nginx image and created a container and tested that way. Thank you very much. I'll see you in next video. Bye for now.